So you bought yourself a wig and you can't wear it because it's like this. And you can't return it, or you don't want to return it. What do? You fix it. Here's how. My name is Denise. I'm also known as Hey Wig Sister on Instagram and Facebook, and I suffer from hair loss and have for over 25 years now, and I've been wearing wigs for over 5 years. I love sharing my wig journey. I love all of the wig sisters that I've met on this journey, and I think these tip videos are probably the most important videos that I make to help you be successful on your wig wearing journey. The wig I'm wearing is Renee of Paris Zara. This is from the Alexander Couture collection in the color Auburn Sugar R. This color is amazing. I actually have a review of this piece. I will make sure that it's linked below. Now, Zara, here she is made with regular synthetic fibers. If this were made with heat-friendly synthetic, I would take a hot tool like a hot comb to it to get some lift in the front. But because this isn't heat-friendly, we're gonna take steam to this one, just a regular clothing steamer to try to get lift. But before we can do that, I am going to be plucking this part line because it's just too densely knotted for my taste, and because it's so densely knotted, I really can't get it to lay naturally. I've played with this part over and over and over, and it just doesn't want to lay right. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more space there, and I'm going to pluck the hairline as well. This does have a lace front, but it's so densely knotted. Even if I take steam to it, I'm going to struggle with this one because of how much hair is in the front. If you are a bang wearer, you can avoid a lot of what I'm going to do here by just cutting a bang in this one. So keep that in mind. You can cut bangs into your synthetic wigs. I have, I think, 2 videos that I'm going to link in the description. I have done this exact thing with a couple of heat-friendly synthetic wigs, and I show how I plucked the hairline, plucked the part, and used a hot comb to get lift. I will make sure those videos are linked below, because if you have a heat-friendly wig, then you definitely want to be able to use a different hot tool. I find a clothing steamer just a little bit of a hassle, having to get it out, get the distilled water, all of that. So if I could use regular hot tools on this, I absolutely would. And because I've made multiple videos where I show how I pluck, I am not going to go super in depth plucking this one on camera. Make sure to go check out one of those videos if what I show in this video just isn't enough for you. So I will start by plucking the part. So the most important thing you can do when plucking a part is get it situated where you want it. You really don't want to start plucking in the wrong area, because that isn't going to, you can't put the hair back. So I got it separated, and now I'm just gonna take a mister bottle and I'm gonna spray those fibers just a little bit. I don't wanna get them too wet, but I really want them to stay where I put them. This isn't going to be the solution, a permanent solution, but it can help just in the interim while I'm trying to get these fibers separated. Now, before I start plucking, I'm gonna put her back on so that I can make sure that that part is where I want it to be. So now I'm all set with my part line. Now I'm going to start plucking. I do like to pluck off my head. I just find I have a lot more control over the plucking, and that's really gonna help me not to pull too hard at the lace. So here's the deal, you guys. When you're plucking and you've got a lace front or a monofilament, you really want to be careful to only pluck one fiber at a time, because you don't want to pull too many knots out all at once and risk ripping those lace features. So one at a time, go slow. And my best word of warning to you, don't pluck a lot before you put it back on and take a look at it. You don't want to overpluck, and it can be super easy to overpluck a wig when it's not on your head. It won't look overplucked until you put it on your head.
Like I mentioned before, I have a video showing how to pluck a part line much more in depth than this. I just wanted to stick this on here so you could have an example, but please look in the description for that video. That will help you a lot. This is just a short example.
Okay, now the hairline has been, or I'm sorry, the part has been plucked, and that's what it looks like. I did take a picture of the before, so let me stick it right over the top here so that you can kind of see the difference. Maybe I can even go side to side. So let me move way over. Now, I cannot stress enough, go slow. You may not get it completely plucked in one session if you're new to this, because we don't have the sense yet of what we're doing. So if you do too much at once, you might over pluck it. So just go slow, just do some. You can always come back in and pluck it more later. Now, also, just a little bit of plucking makes a huge difference in the hair laying more naturally side to side. I don't know if you can tell that it's just laying beautifully on one side or the other of that part now that I've gotten rid of some of the hair. And this is the hair that I took out right there. Not a lot, just enough. Now, I could take steam to this before touching it with my tweezers. As far as plucking the hairline goes, and if you're new to wig wearing, maybe that's a better choice for you, because again, until you get a little bit of experience, you don't really have a sense of what you're doing. I know by looking at this hairline is way too dense. It's really not a natural hairline because of how much hair is on it. So I know it's going to need a little bit of plucking, so I'm going to do that first before I take steam to it. I pluck it exactly the same way as I do the part, but you want to be extra, extra cautious that you don't over pluck there. And I have torn lace before being too aggressive with my plucking. So it's really critical that you just take one hair at a time if you can, to really avoid that stress on that lace. So I'm going to go pluck. And all right, I am back. This is the hair I took out of the hairline. And you can see it's a lot better. Now, it's still really heavy in the face. Like I said, this one is definitely going to need getting there. So now I am going to grab my steamer, get that all set up, and I'll show you how I steam a synthetic wig. All right, friends, I'm back. I am wearing a different outfit. It's a different day. I got interrupted, but we're still working on this girl. I have her on a mannequin head, a canvas block head, a tripod, and I have my clothing steamer. I will link everything in the description in case you need an example of the things that I have, but any clothing steamer will work. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this for it to do a good job for you. And I have got these alligator, I think is what they're called, clips. So I've over directed the hair back so that I'm going to get some lift. This with steam. I don't want to burn my fingers, but I want to make sure that these are really over directed. And I'm just going to warm it up with steam. I'm watching where that steam is going. I'm not getting it right up against that lace because I don't want to melt the lace. And then I'm just going to leave it to cool, maybe 5 minutes or so. Then I'm going to take it off and I'm going to put it on and I'm going to see what we've got. I haven't seen what this looks like. I'm really hoping I got some good lift, but you never know how stubborn a wig can be. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at how much lift I got just from that little bit of steam right off my face. Oh, that is amazing. How incredible. Now, I do see... Okay, so one of the things on this piece is the lace is really narrow on this side. So I got a little bit too much lift and I'm able to kind of see that transition. Can you see that right there? So I have a couple of options. I can go and I can take the steam and I can sort of hit it over here to get that just a little bit flatter. Or I can also just tuck that hair a little bit over that transition line. And it'll sort of look like I've sort of somewhat tucked my hair. Notice a couple of things. The first thing is that there's some little stray hairs. It's almost like when I was plucking the hairline, some of the hair, instead of coming completely out, it sort of broke off. And so I've got a few little stray pieces that are short. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean those up. The other thing that I'm noticing is this lace here is like, I can kind of see the line. Now, part of that could be I might have gotten makeup on it. I mean, I have put this wig on and taken it off and put this wig on and taken it off probably 50 times so far between, you know, learning about it for my review, doing my review, and now through this process. So I could have a little makeup on it, but because I personally know how I can fix that, I've had that issue with wigs before, and all you need is a pinking shears, a scalloped edge scissors, and just cut just a tiny bit to create more of a scalloped edge versus a straight edge, and that is going to really blur out that line and make it almost invisible. So I've got a couple of tweaks I'm going to do, and then I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, scalloped edge is cut. Look at how much better that looks. I wish I would have taken a picture before I cut it. It's one thing I forgot to do, but it is just amazing. Now I'm just adding a little bit of face powder to those knots that I can see. And then I take it's just cheap translucent face powder. This is either CoverGirl or Maybelline from like 8 years ago. So just go to the dollar store. If you don't use translucent face powder, go to the dollar store. Don't spend a lot of money on it. You can use pressed or loose. Pressed is easier. I just happen to have this one. And then I just take a spoolie and sort of blend it in. And doing this also can sometimes soften the knots a little bit. So much better. I do want to do more to this side. I don't know what though. So I'm going to stop this video here because this has been a lot of information for you. And depending on your wig, everything I did today may be all you need to do. If you don't have a wig that's so dense, I mean, there's a lot of hair on this side, then you may really all you need to do is a little steam to get lift in the front, and that is going to be perfect. So if I do something more to this piece, I will film it and I will bring it to you. But for now, hope this helped you. It's really a great tool for you to use on your wig wearing journey to learn how to work with these wigs. I know we want them to be perfect out of the box. That would be the best of all worlds and the easiest thing, but the reality is a lot of wigs aren't perfect out of the box. And you may need to tweak it, but now you've got more skills, and I know you can do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video.
Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.